Morning, yogis. It's me, Mike, on my back deck. Nice, beautiful morning out. Got a hat on so I can see the screen, keep the sun out of my eyes anyway. So, welcome to the Yoga Collective again. And we're going to do a little practice today. I think we're going to focus on hip opening today. Just get a little bit of work around our hips. And to start, we're just going to sit in a comfortable position, whatever that might be for you. I'm just sitting on a pillow, so my hips aren't as high as I like to have them. Usually I like to have my hips a little bit higher than my knees. The top of my hips higher than my knees is a little bit better, but I don't have that prop with me right now, so we'll just go with the flow. So come sit in a comfortable position and just relax. Have your back nice and straight. In fact, see if you can get that little curve in your lower back, even sitting here. Shoulders back, chest doesn't have to be pushed out. Keep your lower ribs down to where you feel a little abdominal engagement, just to line up the spine. Then we're going to just start with a little bit of pranayama, a little breathing practice. You can close your eyes or just have a soft gaze in front of your mat. Then we're going to start with a little longer than normal inhale and longer than normal exhale. Inhale and hold at the top of your inhale. And then release and long exhale. And hold at the bottom of your exhale. So this is a 4-part breath. Inhale, hold, just for a count of 2 or 3. Exhale, hold for a count of 2 or 3. Mosquitoes are out today. And then when you're ready, you can release that, let that go, and let your breath just return to a normal, comfortable position. See how this goes. The mosquitoes have found me. Everybody laughed. That's funny. Anyway, we're just going to start with a little bit of warm-up. So we're just going to shrug our shoulders up and back, forward, up, back, and down. Get a little fluid moving in our joints. Now go, reverse, go the other way. Back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. Again, nice straight back. And then just come to relax. Tip your head to the left. Your right arm out to the side. Bring that back. Tip your head to the right. Left arm out to the side. Just stretching that sternocleidomastoid muscle and the other scalene muscles in our neck. Back to center. Turn your head to the left. Hold. Big inhale. Exhale. Slowly turn your head now to the right. Big inhale. Big exhale. Tip your head right down, but keep your back straight. Don't round your shoulders. Look right down there at the floor. Inhale, exhale. And then on an inhale, look up toward the ceiling, toward the sky. Inhale, exhale. Bring your head back. Good. Now we're going to take our left leg right out in front of us. Our right leg, put your foot on the inside your right foot on the inside of your left knee, and then we're going to take our left elbow and come around that right knee, and we're just going to have a nice, easy twist. Don't crank yourself around necessarily because we're just warming up. Nice, easy twist. Again, nice straight back, especially the lower back. Think of the lower back being nice and straight, so we're not leaning forward over our knee. In fact, if anything, we're trying to get long between our hips and the crown of our head and push away from the knee with our collarbones. And then release that. Right leg straight, left leg. Bring your left foot right against your right knee. Left elbow then comes around. And you may want to make it easier. Just take your hand, move a little bit of that flesh from your belly out of the way. That's what I like to do. And we turn to the left. Little twist of the spine to the left. Excuse me. And release that. Come back in the center. Bring the soles of your feet to your mat. Bend your knees. Clasp your hands over your shins or over your knees. And then we're just going to push our belly forward. This is a sitting cat-cow. Belly, chest comes forward on an inhale. Head comes up. On an exhale, round your back. Push your back back. Your gaze comes down between your feet. Inhale. Chest comes forward. Breathe in that cool air. Exhale. You push back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Very good. Now, come back in the center and put the soles of your feet together. Hopefully you can see my soles of my feet. And you can grab your ankles, grab your shins, whatever feels comfortable. And if I had props, if I had blocks, I'd put them underneath my knees to support my knees. But it helps just to relax the muscles if you have blocks like that. Otherwise, my muscles have to hold my legs up against the force of gravity. But we do yoga wherever we are, whenever we can. It always feels great to do some yoga. So this is called Baddha Konasana. Again, back nice and straight. Back nice and straight. Even if you have to lean back a little bit, that's fine. But keep your back nice and straight. If you have it within your body today, then just lean forward a little bit. You can help pull yourself forward with your hands, but keep your back nice and straight. Maybe you walk your hands forward a little bit. Often on the exhale, you can relax a little bit more into the pose. Not to pull into the pose, just maintain to have a sustainable long-term yoga practice. Only go to about 80% of the edge of what your maximum might be, so we don't pull any muscles or ligaments, tendons, that kind of thing. Now, go ahead and round your shoulders, round your back. Your hands can walk forward, maybe a little bit over your toes or whatever. And then just stretch your back. Nice, long, forward fold over a Baddha Konasana. This is a good hip opener. We're stretching our erector spinae muscles on the back. It's the two big muscles one on either side of your spine. Sometimes you can feel those or see them in other people. And there's also multifidi that connect every third vertebrae of your spine. And so we can stretch those as well by doing a forward fold. And then come up, come back to where you plant your hands behind you. Your feet come to the mat in front of you, to the floor in front of you, to the mat in front of you. Feet directly forward, knees hip width apart. Then we're just going to sway our knees a little bit left and right. Nice and easy, just follow your own breath. Just loosening up that lumbar sacrum area after that forward fold. Very good. Come back up in the center. And one more time, come into your comfortable cross-legged Sukhasana seated position. If that's comfortable for you, you can do this in Virasana as well, which is a hero pose where you're on your knees, maybe sitting on the back of your legs or on a block. And we're just going to take our torso and just circle the torso around. Again, your back nice and straight, your spine nice and straight. We're just working the hips now, loosening up the hips. Baddha Konasana is a big hip stretcher, loosening up the hips a bit. And then we go the other way. Good. Okay, now we're going to do a little abdominal work, your favorite, right? And so we're going to come onto our mat, onto our back. And our legs. You can either keep your feet, let's start off with just our feet flat on the mat. Hands can be at any position you like. Sometimes if they're down by your side, gives you a little more leverage. Then just raise your knees up to where your thighs are vertical. And then lower your knees just to where your toes touch the mat. Just touch the mat. And then come back up. Your knees are bent where they touch the mat. And come back up. One more time, down to touch the mat, come back up. And we're going to keep doing this. The more effort you want to have in your practice today, go ahead and start to straighten out the knees. And the straighter the knees, the more work you're going to do. And then your legs can come up and down. Inhale as they go down. Exhale as they come up. Now to take this one step farther, next time you come down, your heels go to the right corner of your mat. Back to center. Next time down to the left corner of your mat. Up, right corner of your mat. Up, down to the left corner of your mat. Up, down to the right corner of your mat. Up, and then down to center, and hold. Come down to where your feet are about 6 inches from the floor, and just hold it. And breathe. Da, 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 da. And then bring your knees into your chest, hands over your knees, and then just draw circles on the ceiling. Just relax your back. Just relax. Circle one way, then circle the other way. Legs just do random movements. Whatever feels good on your hips, whatever feels good on your lower back. Then roll over onto your right side and push yourself up. Very cool. Okay, now we're going to come into a tabletop position. So hands underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And then we're going to take our left foot forward to the outside edge of the mat. So your hands are on the inside, your left hand's on the inside of your foot, and your foot is right on the outside edge of your mat. Now, depending on how much stretch you want in the right hip, the right psoas, you can walk that left foot forward some more to get a little more extension in that right hip. keep the left knee directly over your ankle. Your upper body weight is supported on your hands, which are fingers spread. They're directly below your shoulders. And then with your arms still straight, supporting your upper body, big inhale, big exhale, let that left knee roll out to the side. So you're rolling on the outside edge of that left foot. Your knee comes out to the side. But your body weight is supported on your hands, not your legs. So you're not taking a lot of weight into that leg. You're just stretching the ligaments, stretching the tendons, stretching the muscles, stretching the fascia, stretching everything in that left hip flexor area. And then bring that knee back up into vertical. Bring that knee until it comes right up and touches the back of your arm or your shoulder. And then if you want a little bit more stretch, if it depends on your body, you can have a pillow out in front of you or whatever, but you can walk down, walk your hands forward. Maybe you can come onto your elbows. There's a big psoas opener on the right side, and I can feel a lot of stretch in my hamstring actually on my left leg. And then just breathe. Big inhale, big exhale. And then push up. And we're going to just leave your foot where it is. Just walk your hands back until your left leg straightens out. And then pull your left toes back towards your knee. So we're doing a Parsvottanasana, kneeling Parsvottanasana. Left leg nice and straight. Stretch that hamstring of your left leg. And then come back up to where your hands are on the mat. Bring that left leg back. We're back into the neutral tabletop. Do a couple cat-cows. And then just wag the tail. Look over your left shoulder to your left ankle. Your right shoulder to your right ankle. Just back and forth a little bit. Then neutral tabletop. Bring your right foot forward. Right foot right on the outside edge of your mat. Right hand on the inside of that right foot. And then depending on how much stretch again you want in the psoas, in the front of your hip, that's where the psoas is, in the front of your hip on your left side, you can walk that right foot a little bit farther forward. Your hands right just adjacent to that foot. Big inhale, big exhale. And on your exhale, with the weight in your hands, let that right knee kind of just flop out to the side. Just roll onto the outside edge of that right foot. Let that right knee flop out to the side. Open up the hip flexors. Open up that hip area. And then just breathe. Think of your breath, apana and prana. Apana is the exhale, getting rid of all the bad juju. Prana is the inhale of the good essence, the good breath. Think of the breath coming right into that right hip right now. And just giving that hip all kinds of good vibration, good energy. And bring that right knee back up into vertical. Bring that right knee up until it touches your shoulder to the tricep of your right arm. And then if you like, you can walk your hands forward and come down, maybe onto your elbows, and get a bigger stretch in that right hip area and the left psoas. And maybe you don't come down onto your elbow. Maybe you just come part way down. Maybe you have blocks or pillows you can come down onto with your elbow. And then walk your hands back in, push yourself back up bring your knees back, and then come back into child's pose. So we're just going to bring our hips back over the back of our leg, come right back into child's pose, and relax. Okay, now, that was a good one. We're going to just come up. Now we're going to do a little bit bigger hip opener here, and we'll see how this goes. Often I've got a little pillow here. You don't need a pillow, but sometimes it's good to have a pillow. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Going to push into a downward facing dog. We're slowly working our way upward. Just walk your dog. Stretch out the Achilles tendon. Stretch out your gastrocnemius, your calf muscle. Move around a little bit. Just move your back, move your hips. The objective of a downward dog is a straight back. So now let's come into our proper alignment. So you bend your knees, you're on your toes, your hands are forward and spread, your back is straight, your ears are right between your upper arms. So get long in your armpits, right between your wrists and your shoulders. Get long, and think of a long line actually between your wrists, your shoulders, and your hips. Long line. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Check your alignment. If your back is nice and straight, you can drop your heels a little, you can straighten your knees just a little, but not to the point of sacrificing a straight back. And now we're going to come forward into plank. Just come forward into plank. Hold your plank. A little more abdominal work. Hold your plank. And then come back into your downward dog. Okay, you may have to adjust where your pillow is if you're using a pillow. This time we're going to come forward with our right leg comes up and over that pillow. And my left leg is straight behind me, my right leg, the knee is bent, and the lower leg, the shin and the ankle, is laying across my mat. I've got a pretty sharp angle in my knee. This is pigeon pose, moving toward king pigeon, which I can't do. That's called, in Sanskrit, that's Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. This is a big hip opener. You may feel the back of your right hip, all the muscles on the back, your glutes stretching, your piriformis stretching. And then if you like, you can walk your hands forward, maybe come down on your elbows, or come right on down, have your forehead on your back of your hands as you lay over that forward leg. Big inhale, big exhale. Just let the magic work in this pose for a minute while we breathe. And then Come up on the toes of your back foot, come forward, come back up into your downward dog. And we're going to come into a three-legged dog. So now the right leg comes up into a three-legged dog. We're going to bend that right knee, and we're going to open that hip up. We're going to stack our right hip on top of our left hip. Dorsiflex those toes of your right foot. Push that knee toward the ceiling. Rotate that back down. Come back into your downward dog. Now just relax in your downward dog. Long inhale, long exhale. And bring your left leg up, forward over that pillow if you're using a pillow. Come forward on your mat. The right leg straightens out behind you. The right leg is nice and straight. Come down on the top of your toes. Your upper body may be supported by your arms. If you like, you can just come back up into a vertical position. Ekapada Raja Kapotasana is where you bring your right foot up and you come into something I can't do right now. So I'm going to straighten that right leg again out behind me. Relax it. And if you like, you can walk your hands forward and come down a little bit, maybe on your elbows, maybe all the way down. As that left leg is the lower leg of your left leg, the shin and ankle is kind of across the mat, but it's not, for me, it's not straight across the mat. My knee is much farther forward than my ankle. But my knee's on the left side of the mat, my foot's on the right side of the mat. The pillow kind of helps to support your hips a little bit. Often if I have blocks, I'll put a block underneath my left hip. If my left leg is forward, I'll have a block underneath my left hip. Help support that. It's not mandatory though. Then just let that magic work. And when you're ready with that, come up on the back toes with your right foot, swing that left leg up and back into a three-legged dog. Left leg up in the air, bend that left knee, stack your left hip on top of your right hip, fire hydrant pose. And then bring that back, come back into your downward dog. Just hold in downward dog for 5 breaths. Right straight back, long in your armpits, long in your triceps. If you have a pillow, you can move that out of your way. We're not going to need that now. And then walk your hands toward your feet. And come into a Uttanasana, forward fold. Knees are generously bent. Just allow the spine to release, axial extension. Weight supported by your legs. Your belly is on your upper thighs. And then bring your hands up to your knees or up to your shins. Come into a nice straight back. And then walk your hands up your thighs. Keep your nice straight back as you rotate up at the hips and do a standing position. Cool. Okay, now we're going to do a little balance poses. I got a really thick mat here. My outdoor mat is really thick, so I'll see if I can do this balance on my mat. But we're focused on hips today, so we're going to balance, and we're going to first come up into tree pose, and we're going to open that knee out to the side. This hip, both hips, sorry, stay straight forward. So as you open that knee out to the side, I just want to make a focus that we're not rotating our hips. Hips stay forward. Knee opens up with the hip, so we're opening up this hip. Keep your left hip, if your right leg is up, keep your left hip up in the center. So we're not slouching into that. Nice energy, sense of direction. Hands up and overhead. Now, twist to the right with your upper body. Keep your hips forward. Arms back up. Twist to the left. Hips stay forward. Come up. Hands together this time. Hands right behind your head. Stretch those triceps. And come up. Hands to heart center and release. Walk that out, shake it out, get your breath. Okay, now, root through your right leg. Remember what we did last week on our balance yoga practice. Engage your thigh, engage your glute, think of the root, come up, tree pose, open that up. Arms out to either side. Twist toward your left leg, just with your upper body, your shoulder. You're not going to go very far because you want to keep your hips forward. And then twist to the right. Keep your hips forward. Come up, arms overhead. Clasp your hands, not clasp your hands, just palms together. And bring the hands right behind your head, elbows right toward the sky. Get long in your upper body. And then hands to heart center and come down. Good. Shake that out. Now we're going to do a dancer pose. So we're going to face the short end of your mat. You can be in the center of your mat. And you can use a wall or something, or handrail for this, which I like to have something, a chair or a wall or something. And we're going to stand on our left leg first. Engage, engage. Right leg comes up. You clasp your hand around the front of your ankle on your right. Left arm up. Keep your legs together, your thighs together. Then as you rotate at your hips, your right knee comes behind your left knee, comes straight back in the same plane. You're just rotating at the hips. Here's where you grab your chair or your table or wall or whatever. Now you're in dancer. Now, with the strength of your glutes, pull that right knee back. We're just kind of supporting it with our hand. Use your strength of your glutes to pull that right knee back. And then we're going to rotate to the right. And we're going to stack our right shoulder on top of our left and our right hip on top of our left. This is called candy cane. Big inhale, big exhale. So we just open the hips. And then we rotate back into dancer. Bring that foot back down, come back up to standing. So we went from dancer to candy cane and back again. So let's do it on the other side. So we stand in Tadasana. Weight this time into our right foot. Engage your right thigh, your right glute. That right leg stays nice and straight as you bring your left foot up to where you can clasp your hand. You can use a strap for this too, or a belt. But if you can clasp your hand around the front of your ankle, dorsiflex that left foot a little bit. You can also stop and rewind this video and come back and do this as many times as you like to get the feel of it. I've done this many times, and every time I realize something a little bit different. So now, bring that left knee back right with the right, arm up. We rotate forward at the hips. This is where you grab your railing or table, whatever you got. Come into dancer with the strength of your glute. Push that left knee back, straight back, right in the same plane as your mat. And then we open it up, so we rotate now to the left. We're going to stack our left shoulder on top of our right, our left hip on top of our right, and we come into candy cane. One of my favorite poses because you want to engage your abdominal muscles here too. We're doing a little bit of a back bend. It's a balanced pose. We're opening up our hips. We're opening up our chest. It's one of my favorite poses. And we rotate back into dancer. And we release that leg and shake that out. So that was good. So now, just want to move around a little bit. Stand wide-legged. And then we're just going to rotate our hips around. Same thing we do when we're laying on our back, when we rotate our knees in circles, draw circles on the ceiling. We're just loosening up again that sacrum area, lower back. Good. Very good. One more time, we're just going to open up our stance a little bit. Feet directly forward though. And when your feet are directly forward, put weight on the outside edge of your feet. Weight on the outside edge of your feet. Right arm comes up and over for a lateral bend toward the left. Come back up, left arm comes up and over. Lateral bend toward the right. Come up, hands on your hips. Back is nice and straight, long between your sacrum, your hips, and the top of your head. And we're just going to keep our back nice and straight as we rotate at the hips. We come forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe you can widen your stance a little as you come forward. And then you can just release your upper body and just let it hang. Your hands maybe on blocks, on the floor, a pillow, whatever you like, just let it hang. And then we're going to just, with our hands on the mat, we're just going to rotate and come to sit on our mat along the length of our mat. Bring your soles of your feet again together. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana like we started. Baddha Konasana. Back is nice and straight, or straight as you can. You're going to have a little curve in your lumbar just because that's the nature of this pose. And then you can walk your hands forward a little bit, nice straight back. At whatever point you can't come forward anymore, then just go ahead and round your back. Hips nice and open. Then come back and up. And we're going to just slowly come back onto the back of our mat. Feet come up. Happy baby pose. Big inhale. Big exhale here in happy baby. And then bring your feet down to your mat. Feet on the outside edge of your feet on the outside edge of your mat. Then just windshield wipe your knees to the right. Hold. Up and over center and windshield wiper to the left. And hold. Back up to center, over to the right, and hold. One more time, up to center, over to the left, and hold. And back to center, and come into your Shavasana. I like to have my knees, take my pillow underneath my knees. So I got a little bit of a bend in my knees, but whatever Shavasana feels like for you, your corpse pose. Just get comfortable. This is where you relax all the muscles in your body. So get comfortable in your Shavasana pose. We usually like to hold Shavasana for 10 minutes. Minimum 5 minutes. This is where your whole practice that we just did gets embedded, gets secured in your being. Even though your body's not doing anything now, your mind needs to stay focused on your practice, focus on your breath, or on a mantra, on a chant. But we want to stay present in the moment, stay focused in this room, on your mat. Now, you just envision white light from the sun coming right into your heart. The white light, even if you're indoors, the energy is coming right through your house, right through your roof, through your ceiling, right into your heart. Just envision that white light. And then envision the reflection of that white light, which is your energy, your sun energy. You're now the sun, giving off a white light to all the other people in the world. You receive and you give. You're humble when you receive, and you're humble as you give. Saying thank you, sun, and you're welcome as you give it. So just continue with this Shavasana. And I'll kindly say thank you for coming to yoga practice today. May our thoughts be peaceful. May our words be peaceful. And may our heart be peaceful. Namaste.